Hello, welcome to this training resource really focusing on teachers getting you started for the IQ unit, the built-in Android unit on the smartboard, either 6000S or the MX. So if I just jump into here, and you can see that there's lots of different software to be able to look through, and I'm just going to put getting started with a teacher guide for the IQ here. To get to this website here, it's go to smarttech.com/training. I'll put the link in below, or it might be legacy.smarttech.com/training, just because they're changing over the website as well. So if I click on this one here, this is really focusing on the IQ unit, the built-in Android unit here. And you can see that in 5 steps, it takes us through the guide. How can I interact with the board? How can I personalize it? How can I deliver content from it, make it engaging for students, and of course connect to other people as well. So we'll just go through this guide here. So first of all, interact. How can I start a whiteboard? So I'm going to click home here. So I've got absolutely nothing plugged in, and this is my board when I first turned it on. I've got nothing plugged in at the side, it's just straight to that Android here. And from in here, I need to start a whiteboard. So if I start a whiteboard, I can click on it, and this is the whiteboard itself here. I've got some different backgrounds that I can choose from. There's some lined paper, there's some dotted paper, squared paper, whichever one you want to, pick the one you want. And then your pen, when you pick it up, will be a pen. The pen will be a pen, and a finger will be a finger, and that will be across anything as well. So I can annotate on that. And of course, if I've got multiples going at the same time, I can for that as well. And of course, because it's an Android, it's built in that pinch to zoom thing. And you can see if this box appears here, that's when I start to move the pages around. So you can see I've got that really large 3x3 grid to be able to have those bits and pieces within there as well. And there are lots of tools down the side. Have a bit of a go, have a good explore of which one's here, whether that's putting pens into it or even different bits within that as well. Or of course, if you want to add in images, if I've clicked on here, the previous video I showed you how to actually put this on the network. Now once it's on the network, I can search for bits in here. For example, if I search for ladybirds. I'm searching for ladybirds, I can add an image in, and that image will take it in here. I can pinch to zoom that to move that to where I want. Or of course, if I flip over from images, I can go to videos, and then I've got the video content here. I can actually add in a video for this as well. I can put that here, and then when I press play, that will go full screen as well. And of course, if you want to find images from on your board as well, you can bring those in and bring them actually ones that are saved into your board and bring those into your whiteboarding here as well. So I can add other things within here as well. There's lots of ready-made backgrounds. So I clicked on that plus button at the side down here. Within that plus button, you've got lots of different backgrounds. And choose the background you want. For example, it might be a brainstorming activity, and I've got that on there. And again, the same applies. I can pick up the pen, start annotating. I can add in text. I might add different widgets to that as well. Clocks, timers, spinners, lots of different bits and pieces like that as well. Or if I would like to add in, rather than graphic organizer or a different digital manipulative, I can actually add a shout it out. Now this shout it out activity here means that I can actually connect my students and they can send their answers up to the board as well. So clicking on these people here, the students go to hellosmart.com. They can join as a guest, or they can log in with their Microsoft credentials. They join the code here, and that's my teacher code, 162353. And then you can send your answers up onto the board and actually send those up there. So a bit like shouting out their answers for those here. So then in real time, all the students' answers will appear up on here from where they're sending from their devices, either in the classroom or out of the classroom as well. So I'm just going to add on a new page, add in just a blank page this time. And now I've got this blank page here. I can annotate it, add any content I want to in here. And then if I click on these people again, it actually gives me options to do something different. I can change it to an individual handout or a collaborative workspace straight from within the board. Now, if it's an individual handout, it means that I can pass this over to everybody and everyone that's joined that lesson. They went to hellosmart.com. That's just a quick recap here. They went to hellosmart.com on their device, joined as a guest or used their Microsoft or Google credentials, and then they typed in that teacher code there. I'm just going to hide that one. And from there, I can make this either a individual handout or a collaborative space. Individually, obviously sending out to everybody individually, or a collaborative one so we can actually work together on that page, and I can put everybody in teams as well. Once you've updated to the latest piece of software, what you'll also see is the ability to actually have a whole class one as well. So everyone comes together straight away on that one page and starts annotating together, whether you're choosing to edit or not for there as well. And adding in all those different content at the side there as well. So I'm now going to click home button. My home button is in the middle here. Your home button might be at the side here. It's just got a picture of a little house, so it'll take you back to the home here. And then from in there, I'm just going to jump to that web browser. Now, the web browser you can see here, this is where we were looking at beforehand, but wherever you want to go within there, you've got a link to everything through different tabs and all of your online content from that as well. So that's a great start of how to interact with the smartboard here with an IQ unit. Now, what I would like to do is actually personalize that. You can see that I've got a very, very smart wallpaper. So I'm going to find a different one, I can go into settings down here, and there's lots of different bits and pieces down here. I'm just going to click on the top of wallpaper. And now you can see that there's some really nice different ones in here. Of course, if you want to plug in a memory stick and actually put your own one in there, you can as well. I'm going to choose that one there. I'm going to choose this one here with the different monsters in. So you can see that background has changed. Or some quite nice ones down at the bottom there. In fact, let's just go for that one because that's the one you might have when you first installed yours as well. And there's some different settings and stuff here. Go have a look at it, see which ones that you want for yourself and begin to personalize that so it's your board itself. Looking at really personalizing the board itself, what I've actually done here is signed into the board. Now I've signed into the board using my teacher email address, your Google or your Microsoft one, and that means that it will just sync up and it'll be yours, your profile. So whenever you sign into that board itself, it'll be your profile loaded for it. If you have got the 6000S, you will have a NFC card as well, so you'll be able to log into the board with your smart card and be actually plug into the board, and it'll load your profile for you straight from within the board. And you can see here I can just sign out if I want to for there as well. There's also a sign out button here as well to actually sign out to the board. And with the new update, you'll have a lock button there as well if you just want to make that screen blank and lock it, whether you're leaving the room or something like that. But you have got a sign up down there, or it might say clean up, so removing passwords and everything like that that you've saved from the board. So that's really beginning to personalize that board in it as well. Further personalization can be done with apps. And there are certain apps within here you'll be able to see and have those there. And actually, if I click onto the App Store, there's lots of different apps here that you'll be able to actually install yourselves for that and bring those actually onto your board directly with no other need. If there is an app that you do wish to put on here which is not appearing into this App Store, that is done through a remote management piece of software. Speak to your IT management and they'll be able to deploy that app and actually have that installed for you as well. It might just be that it's, you might just go to the website and use that one. I'd try that one first. But if you do need that app, because there are some fantastic apps out there to be able to install that, do that through your remote management piece of software that comes with the MX and the 6000S as well. So I'm clicking that home button as well, taking it out of that App Store. So now I'm going to look at how can I deliver that content. So if I'm clicking my files here, like I said, now I've signed into the board already, these files here are now going to be bringing from my Lumio lesson. So far, everything I've told you, all of that software now comes free with the board. If I've got these files here, this is now using your subscription, your Smart Learning Suite subscription, or of course your Lumio subscription, so that it links your files in here. And then these are my Lumio lessons that you can see that I've synced with the board automatically because I've signed in, and I can begin teaching from any of these. Once I've clicked on them, they'll obviously go full screen. I'll be able to have those and organize those files in there. Or of course, just start a new game there as well. Let's just go into opening up this one. So then it's going to pull down that lesson and I'll be able to teach from that as well. And then I can add any other content to it I had already, adding the pages if I want to. Of course, adding the different widgets that I've got around in here. For example, I'm just going to pick on a dice. There's lots and lots of different ones within there. If you click slightly outside it, you'll be able to see each one has got a settings menu. And within the settings menu, you can actually personalize that however way you want it. Any spinners or the dice itself, you'll be able to have multiple dice or change it to text. Let's just change the color as well. There we go. Let's change that color and then we can get rid of that. Get rid of that one. And then I've got those dice there that I can have, click outside it, and then those dice can be spun and used within that lesson as well. If I wanted to save those, I can then add it to my widgets. So then I've added it to my widgets. It will then appear up in here, and then I can rename it so I know which one I can have that for later on as well. Brilliant. Let's jump ahead. How can I make this even more engaging with the students as well? So we've looked at bringing in the actual whiteboard itself, jumping back into that one. Within the whiteboard itself, I can make it even more engaging by using that brainstorming activity, by adding in a shout it out so the students can bring their answers onto the board and really make that an engaging place to have there as well. Another way we might use those additional devices is through the screen share app. So clicking on this screen share app here, I can see that I have got the ability to share up to the board here. Now this will look slightly different depending on which model you've got. If you've got a version 2, yours will look like mine, but with the new boards, the version 3s, it will look slightly different. So I'm just going to quickly talk about this one here, and then we'll talk about the version 3s as well. So if your board looks like this, you'll be able to share straight to it with different devices. If you can be done natively, so for example, if it's from an iPad, you scroll down from the top, screen share, choose the board here, and it will be displaying on here. And I can display up to 4 devices straight up on here. If you wish to use an app, you can do that as well and deploy that one. If you're doing it through Chrome, you can cast to it, the 3 little dots, cast to be up on here, or through Windows as well, displaying to connect to a wireless display, and you'll be able to do that from there up in here. If they're on the same network, that'll work natively. If it's on a different network, then you'll be able to do that through the app itself. If your board here looks slightly different, it's because you've got a version 3. It will be called Smart Mirror. With Smart Mirror, it enables you to do it 3 different ways. Either through the Smart Mirror app, which is available on the Android and the iOS App Store as well, or if you want to do it natively, so it's just scrolling down from the top like I just said on the previous one, or of course if you want to go through a website as well. All the instructions for your board will be able to, all the instructions you need will be onto the board for that one there, or if you look for the Smart Mirror, there's a designated video just for that one there as well. But that's how to screen share straight to the app as well, straight to the board as well for that one there. And then the last one we're looking at is actually how can we connect to those learners as well? How can I bring in that content? So if I have got that whiteboard here, the ability to write, to draw on it, get going straight away, just by picking up that pen and annotating on the top of there. Really nice and easy to actually start engaging with your learners as well. If I want to bring in lessons from my files, any PDFs, I can bring those straight from here. If I want to then share it with others afterwards, I can do that as well. And then if I want to actually connect an additional laptop, I can do that as well. So they've got the ability to use Smart Notebook and to use any other Smart Ink video ink as well. And all those bits and pieces that will come from a connected device. I will go over that in a bit more detail in the next video, where it's looking at Smart Notebook and actually using that connected PC for that as well. So hopefully that's been useful. Hopefully that's been a quick recap and a quick look at how to use all those. Remember, I'll put the link in below, but this content here is taken from the training site, smarttech.com/training /IQ, to be able to have a look through this bit here as well. Thanks very much. Goodbye.